let's talk about my most anticipated releases of 2023. Technically, I have way more than this, but today we're going to narrow it down to over 30, which is a whole lot. So let's get right into it. This video will be going up a little bit late, so some of these books that I'm talking about will already be out by the time y'all see this, but that just means that y'all can go get them immediately. First, we have The Love Match by Priyanka Taslim. This comes out January 3rd. It is a young adult novel about a Bangladeshi American teen girl's mother arranges a match for her to be able to keep the family wealthy. However, the girl is already in love with somebody else. There will be a love triangle and fake dating. Next is Cool Awkward Black, edited by Karen Strong. It comes out on January 10th. This is a young adult multi-genre anthology full of stories centering blurbs, black nerds. Friday I'm in Love by Cameron Garrett, out January 10th. This is a young adult contemporary about our main character who missed out on having a sweet 16 party, but she decides to have a coming out party instead. Next is Clickmate by Tia Kelly. This comes out January 24th. This is a black sports romance where two people who do not get along in real life don't realize that they are each other's crushes online on an online culinary website. Next, Sorry Bro by Taline Vascuni. This comes out January 31st, and this is an Armenian Sapphic rom-com with a bisexual main character who is learning to live out loud. Unnecessary Chaos by Brent Lambert. This comes out sometime in February. I don't think there's an exact date. And this is a black MLM fantasy romance where two people are sent to spy on each other, but then they catch feelings. The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chakshi. This comes out February 14th. And this is about a marriage being unraveled by the wife's interesting past. She is a Haunting by Trang Tran Tran. This comes out February 28th. And this is another gothic story. This one is set in Vietnam, and it is about a house with an insatiable appetite preying on a family. This was described as Haunting of Hill House in Vietnam. I loved the show Haunting of Hill House, so I cannot wait to get to this and see what's up. Black Candle Women by Diane Marie Brown. This one has two different publication dates that I found, so I don't know which one is right, but it either comes out February 28th or March 7th. And this book is about black witches and a decades-old curse that makes it to where any person that one of the women in the family falls in love with dies. Before I continue, if you're as excited about these books as I am, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when I post new videos. And you can see when I read these books and what my thoughts are. Next is My Dear Henry, a Jekyll and Hyde remix by Kaylin Bayron. This comes out March 7th. And this is another gothic story. Shocking. This is a black queer Jekyll and Hyde retelling. I read the original Jekyll and Hyde. I did not like it, but I loved the premise of it, so I know this is going to be so much better. Drinking from Graveyard Wells by Yvette, Lisa, and Lovell. This comes out March 7th. This is a genre-bending short story collection about African women and their magical lives. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto. This comes out March 14th. And this is about a suspicious Chinese mother solving a murder mystery. I really enjoyed Dial A for Aunties by this author. It seems like this one is going to have a similar vibe, so I can't wait. Next, we have Lone Women by Victor LaValle. This comes out March 21st. This is a historical horror novel about a woman who travels around with this huge steamer trunk. And the trunk has to stay closed at all times because when it's open, people start to disappear. And during Santi, We're Here by Johnny Garza Villa. This comes out April 4th. And this is a young adult romance about a non-binary Mexican American teen and an undocumented Mexican boy falling in love. I feel like it's going to be heartbreaking. I know that there is a trigger warning for ICE related things, so yeah, I'm scared it's gonna break my heart, but I'm still excited for it, and hopefully it'll be emotional in a good way. The Scourge Between Stars by Ness Brown. This comes out April 4th. This is a sci-fi horror set on a spaceship where the crew is getting picked off one by one. I love sci-fi horror, so you know I'm here for it. The Blood Gift by N.E. Davenport. This comes out April 18th. It is the sequel to The Blood Trials, which if you have watched my Best Books of 2022 video, you will know that it was in that list. And if you haven't, you should definitely go check that out after this video is done. The first book in the duology is about a black woman in a very, very racist society who finds out that her father was murdered, and so she must infiltrate the military, find his killer, and get revenge. It was very, very action-packed. I loved our main character. We love a revenge-seeking main character, and so I cannot wait to see how the duology ends. I cannot believe that I went this whole video without mentioning the 2 books that my favorite author of all time, Tananarive has coming out this year. The Wishing Pool and Other Stories. This comes out April 18th. This is a short story collection from her, ranging different genres from horror to sci-fi to suspense. There are some previously published stories as well as some brand new stories. The Reformatory, out June 27th. This is a horror novel set in 1950 about a young black boy who gets sent to a segregated reform school that is haunted by the spirits of boys who have died there. Now let's get back to the video. I'm Not Supposed to Be in the Dark by Riz M. Nielsen. This comes out May 9th. This is a young adult novel where a girl becomes convinced that her best friend turned enemy is now possessed by a ghost. I absolutely loved Deep in Providence by this author, so I will read anything else that she writes. Next is To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Monaquil Blackgoose. This comes out May 9th, and this is about an indigenous girl who bonds with a dragon, but then she must enroll in a colonizer-run dragon academy, and hopefully she is gonna go in there and change some things up, girl. I can't wait to see it. Next is the Luis Ortega Survival Club by Sonora Reyes. This comes out May 23rd, and this is a young adult book about a group of teen girls who all discover that they have been sexually assaulted by the same boy, and so they get revenge. Obviously, this could be a very triggering read, but since they're getting revenge, I'm very, very excited to see it. The Do's and Donuts of Love by Adiba Jargadar. This comes out June 6th, and this is a Sapphic YA romance with a love triangle taking place during a reality TV show back in competition. I love the reality TV show trope, so I cannot wait to get to this. I enjoy both the Henna Wars and Honey and Issues Guide to Fake Dating by this author, so I cannot wait to read. You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Bayron. This comes out June 20th, and this is a Sapphic young adult horror about a full contact slasher simulation that becomes way too real and the staff must survive. Kaylin Bayron is ruling my 2023 most anticipated releases, and I've never even read a book from her, so we're gonna see what happens. Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton. This comes out June 27th, and this was completely put on my TBR because of this cover. The cover is gorgeous. I am in love. It's one of my favorite covers of all time. And this is a young adult novel about a siren who has to hide her siren identity, but she's also an assassin, and she also becomes like the bodyguard to a prince or something. Like, it's a lot going on, and I cannot wait to read about it. Next is Play to Win by Jodie Slaughter. This comes out July 11th, and this is a black adult romance, and it's about this woman who wins the lottery. Then she goes to her estranged husband and she says, hey, here goes some money, sign the divorce papers and leave me alone. And then he like, no, I'm gonna win you back. Let's see what happens. The Deep Sky by Yume Katase. This comes out July 18th. This is a sci-fi thriller about a mission into deep space going wrong when something on the ship blows up, And then the crew starts looking at each other, suspecting each other, like, who did it? Let's find out who did it. Forged by Blood by Ehigbor Okosun. This comes out August 8th. And this is inspired by Nigerian mythology. It's action-packed. It's a revenge story. Our main character is fighting against a tyrannical society, and I can't wait. Monstrous by Jessica Lewis. This comes out September 12th. I am incredibly excited about this book because I loved Bad Witch Burning by this author. And this is about our main character getting taken and sacrificed to an ancient monster, but she would do anything to survive, including making a deal with said monster and getting revenge on those who sacrificed her. That sounds amazing. The Forest Demands Its Due by Kosoko Jackson. This comes out on October 3rd. This is a dark academia horror about a boy who attends a boarding school with murderous monsters and a curse on the school that makes almost everyone forget the people that have died. All These Sunken Souls, a black horror anthology edited by Serse Moskowitz. This comes out October 17th, and this is my #1 most anticipated release of the year. Please don't disappoint me because the last two have been disappointing. This is a black horror anthology. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a black horror anthology, and that's all I need to know to want to read it. I Feed Her to the Beast, and the Beast is Me by Jameson Shea. This has no exact publication date yet, but it does come out in 2023. This is the first book in a horror duology about a ballerina who bathes in the blood of an eldritch god in order to get power. Supposedly, it's like Jennifer's Body-esque, and that's one of my favorite movies of all time, so you know I'm ready. Alright, these next two, the publication dates are unknown, but I am hoping and praying that they are coming in 2023. And the first one is We Need to Talk About Apollo by Lachelle Seville. Lachelle Seville wrote Darknesses, which is a book that I love tremendously, so I cannot wait. This has a bisexual and intersex protagonist. It has vampires and humans coexisting, and it has Greek mythology and multiple pantheons. And the author described it as the anti-Darknesses. Yeah, I gotta read it. I need to read it, like, right now. And next we have a new book from Amanda Ross, who wrote In the House of Transcendence, which is a book that I really, really love. If you've watched my other videos, then you've heard me mention it before. And she is writing a new book. I'm not sure how much I can say about it, but I know that it's a gothic horror novel, which that shocks no one that I'm ready for a gothic horror novel, that I'm anticipating another gothic horror novel. Which of these books are you most excited for? Make sure you tell me down in the comments below. Psst. Authors and publishers, if you see this, know that I want the arcs for any book that's mentioned in this video. If you want to send me an arc, I will gladly accept.